So this is a little bit more of like a niche kind of random topic, but it was in the news about 2 weeks ago, and I found it kind of interesting, and I had what I would consider a different take on it. So yeah, let's get into it. So what I have for us here is a little bit of a like what you might think is an odd comparison, but religious texts or constitutions. What should people be sworn into public office on? So the reason I kind of bring this up was about 2 weeks ago, Zoran Momdani was sworn in as the New York City mayor on a Quran. As you can see here, he's in the subway, hand on the Quran, being sworn in. Just not a very traditional sight that you see in the United States. Traditionally, you see public officials being sworn in on the Bible. Trump, Vance, Biden, Obama, everyone does it. It's just kind of the way we do things in the United States. Not to say that that's always the best way to do it. Tradition is typically good, but sometimes things need to be reformed a little bit. And not even that this reform would be a huge change. I just think it would be a better symbolization of what, the United States and their public officials are meant to do and stand for. So my kind of proposal from switching from being sworn in on like a religious text, Quran, which is pretty weird, or the Bible, would be the Constitution, or like both either national or state. Here's kind of a constitutional quote that kind of outlines this, and it's a little bit out of context in the way I'm using it, but not egregiously so. And I think it kind of outlines how my way of doing it would kind of go. But the quote from Article 6, Clause 3 of the Constitution says, "The senators and representatives before mentioned and the members of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial officers shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as qualification to any office or public trust under the United States." So, this article already says, or this clause already says, that under oath, all public officers are bound to support the Constitution. However, they don't have to follow a specific like religious teaching or like dogma to be a public official in the United States, which I think is good. I don't think you need to be like Christian or Muslim or whatever to be a public official in the United States. I think you can be whatever. But therefore, then why do we use religious texts to swear people in? I understand that people are like, before God, like I'm going to do my best to serve these people, but why not be sworn in on, the Constitution that's going to like outline how you do that? So like I've been saying, like either use the national or state constitution, or like even if you're like a local official, like a mayor or something, you could use the state constitution or national. It wouldn't really matter. But yeah, I think you should use that. That's like what those constitutions outline what your goals are and what you need to uphold for your constituents. So be sworn in on that. I have no problem with people being like, I want to like, it's my duty to God to, help these people or whatever. That's fine. But when you're being sworn into office and, you're taking your vows of what you have to protect, your role as that public official is not to like be the best for God. It's to be the best for your constituents and the people that you're serving. So, maybe swear on the thing that is telling you how to do that instead of a holy text. Maybe that sounds a little bit harsh. I don't know. I just think that would be, as I said earlier, a better symbol and better like representation of what the actual goals of public officials in the United States should be. But let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.